Everyone, welcome to the program. Now, the Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Abdullahi Fubara as governor of Rivers State. The governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Tonye Cole, challenged the election of Governor Abdullahi Fubara on grounds that he wasn't qualified to run for governor as he was still in the employ of the Rivers State government as Accountant General as at the time of the election. The Supreme Court, in its judgment, upheld the decision of the appellate court on grounds that the APC governorship candidate failed to prove his allegations of overvoting and non-compliance leveled against the Rivers State governor. In reaction, Fubara thanked President Tinubu for the victory and added that it would be unfair not to appreciate his estranged political godfather and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Let's just listen to him.
The good news that came to us this morning is a refreshing strength that will ginger us to continue the work of governance. But I have to say these few things in addition to the victory that we recorded today. First, I want to commend the President for his fatherly role on every issues that concern our state. Not just the crisis, but also this particular litigation that we just overcome. It will also be unfair for me not to appreciate the minister, my Oga. I want to say thank you for all their support.
Well, appreciating the minister, my Oga. I guess it's my Oga at the top there, Governor Sim Fubara, commending all those who helped him out. Well, for more on this, I'm now being joined in the studio by Abdullahi Ibrahim, the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. And shortly, I'll be joined in a moment from Port Harcourt by Darlington Nwauju, who's the former Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. Thank you so much for joining us. Abdullahi, what a relief it must be for your party, the People's Democratic Party, after a leader of your party seemed to be fighting from both within and outside. I mean, how is the PDP reacting to the Supreme Court's judgment that not only gave you Rivers State, but also gave you Taraba?
Well, thank you, Somna. It's a clear vindication of what we have always believed in. We had argued from the inception that it was a victory for the PDP. The people of Rivers State overwhelmingly went with the PDP in 2023, like they did in 2019, like they had always done from the return of this republic in 1999. So it's a home for the PDP. It's a clear vindication. I think it has rested the matter now. Those challenging the victory of Governor Simi Fubara would at least look for 2027 if anything would come out of it. The same thing applies to Taraba. It's been a stronghold of the PDP. You know, Governor Darius Ishaku completed his 8 years and handed over to Kefas Abu. And then, of course, it's a continuation of the PDP jolly journey. So it's for us a clear manifestation of truth and the arrival of, justice.
Yeah, and so that of the Rivers State begins to make a lot of political analysts to do lots of calculations. Firstly, how could the PDP have won the governorship election and yet the APC won the presidential election in the state?
Well, it's probably the decision of the people of Rivers. But as a party, we are not even satisfied with the outcome of the election. Talking about presidential election generally, we've contested that to the Supreme Court. We saw the playing out and the undercurrents that went in the build-up to the election. We knew that there were going to be dissenting voice from those voices that we had at that period. Again, because we as a party did not accept wholly until we got to the Supreme Court, and that's the final arbiter, we decided to raise the matter. Otherwise, the general victory of the APC, is to us a subject of question.
Yeah, I asked the question because you said since the return to democracy, PDP has always won Rivers State, and that's the fact, actually. So this time around, a lot of people are puzzled what really happened, and just a few weeks after the presidential election, I mean, the results are going, I mean...
One of the troubles we had going to that general election, you would recall, is the unity of the party. PDP was embroiled in crisis emanating from the primaries that produced our presidential, candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. And one of the strong contenders for that ticket was the governor of Rivers State then, and now FCT Minister Nwauju Wike, who you will agree was a strong factor in the PDP. And therefore, we got to the election
and that's where you seem to be running into trouble, because you said he was. Does it mean Nwauju Wike is no longer a member of the People's Democratic Party? He
hasn't officially said so, but every step he has taken in recent past seems to suggest that he is not absolutely with the PDP, subject to your confirmation. But I think in the days ahead, the party is looking at reconciling some of the steps he has taken, and then look at the provision of the constitution of the party to see if it is in tandem with some of these steps he took, and to see whether we could take a decisive measure and apply punitive and restraint to him, and many others who we believe have not really done what they ought to have done, to keep the party together. But the cohesion of the party was at the heart of that dichotomy that you had, which was having the governorship, but then we couldn't also win the presidential.
Okay, and one interesting fact here is that all through, since May 29, when Governor Sim Fubara was sworn in, I have never seen him being at the Wadata Plaza, the national secretariat of the PDP. I don't know if by chance he has visited or he has just been waiting for this outcome to be his own man.
Well, I think to a large extent, there's this belief by a majority of the party faithfuls that this is the time for Fubara to be able to chart a course for himself. While waiting before I got into the studio, this discussion erupted between me and one of your staff, and I told him, I said, well, majority of the faithfuls of the party, not just the NWC and the other organs of the party, I believe it is now you're going to see a man in his true color. Because on one hand, Fubara had to first of all be sure of what his position is as a governor elected by the majority of the people of Rivers State, which has been confirmed today. We had always known so. It's just a confirmation that we got today. But on the one hand, he knew that his destiny lied on the hands of some people waiting at the corner to see if he was going to go against or he was going to chart a course for himself. And so they would sledge the hammer. All this gratitude you hear these governors going around saying to the president, I think should go to the judiciary proper.
Yeah, a lot of us are actually worried. I mean, it looks like President Tinubu can actually have the powers to determine through some sort of interference in the process of the judiciary if he chooses to, because that's the impression we're having. Because some of your governors are, going out there and thanking him, and some people are being worried.
In fairness to these governors, there was this monumental pressure mounted on the president to influence the chances of his party using the court. And because of the influence that we all believe he has with the judiciary, if he wanted, he could have done so.
Would the judiciary have accepted to do that?
Well,
because that's an independent arm of government.
We have seen some discomforting and worrying steps taken by the judiciary in time past, like the battle we had for our presidential candidate, from the tribunal to the appeal court and to the Supreme Court proper. A lot of decisions they've taken. You needed to see how Nigerians came out. You will recall how Nigerians came out in gratitude. And a lot of encomiums poured on the judiciary the moment they, allowed some of these victories in the states, like Kano, Plateau, Zamfara, and other states generally, including the Taraba and rivers that we saw today. All this credit given to the president and the encomiums poured on the judiciary, particularly, is because people believe they had been compromised completely. And I was one of those persons who also did not see why some of the decisions we got from the courts should go the way it went. But to a large extent, the judiciary seemed to have gotten its acts together. And the credit, instead of going to the president, should be attributed to the judiciary, if you ask me, because they've taken decisive decision in validating the truth and upholding the temple of justice, which they have sworn to uphold as members of the temple of the third arm of government. So it's important for Nigeria, it's important for democracy, it's important for civility and rule of law.
All right, I will just ask you to pause there as we continue to ensure that our institutions are strengthened across the country and we don't build strong men. Well, I'm being joined from Port Harcourt right now by Darlington Nwauju, who's the former Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. So, Darlington, you would have heard the results coming from Abuja that your party actually lost to the PDP and Governor Fubara has now been affirmed. How's the APC in that state taking it, specifically your governorship candidate, Tonye Cole?
Well, good evening. Thanks for having me. Good evening, Nigerians. I think that your introduction of me is a little bit controversial, given the fact that the circumstances under which the executive committee under the leadership of Chief Emeka Beke was dissolved is ultra vires the very constitution of the All Progressive Congress, specifically Article 13, Sub 3 and 4 of our party constitution as altered. And so that said, I want to say clearly that our governorship candidate, Pastor Architect Tonye Cole, MNI, has extended congratulatory messages to Governor Similaye Fubara and has also offered to extend all the ideas for which we campaigned around the 319 wards of Rivers State and the 23 local government areas. And so the APC, as a party in Rivers State, is ready to extend a hand of fellowship and work in partnership with Governor Similaye Fubara of Rivers State to ensure that the state moves forward, because the truth of the matter remains that the state, Rivers State, is far, far bigger than every one of us, and the larger interest of the people of the state is weightier than the interest of one single individual.
And there have been these talks here and there that the Tony Okocha-led caretaker committee of the APC is actually preparing grounds for the defection of Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, from the PDP to the APC. And the thought out there was also that if Tonye Cole had won, that would have been the easiest gateway for him to actually defect. What's your view on that?
Well, I do not know about what the plans of the FCT minister is or are, because he's not a member of the All Progressive Congress the last time I checked. And I do not also know about the activities of a convoluted arrangement, an illegal arrangement that is unknown to the party constitution. I do not know about their plans for the FCT minister. Moreover, these are allies, known allies of the FCT minister. So whatever their plans are, I think it is personal to them. It has nothing to do with the entirety or the interest of the All Progressive Congress and the followership of this party, those who have borne the brunt of building the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State since 2013.
Are you willing to accept him if he does decide to move to the APC? Do you think that he'll be a solid striker for the APC in Rivers State?
Well, I'll answer your questions this way. On the 26th day of September, the leadership of the APC, led by our governorship candidate, Pastor Architect Tonye Cole, did pay a familiarization or courtesy visit on the Abdullahi Ganduje-led NWC. Do not forget that Mr. Ganduje was actually nominated and confirmed on the 3rd day of August as national chairman of the APC. And so as a party, we had gone to pay him a visit and discuss or chart the way forward for our party in Rivers State. And some of the key takeaways from that particular meeting was that, well, that we are going to be receiving some individuals who are on the other divide, who belong to other political parties who would like to join us. And that also we should be prepared to welcome back those of our members who were aggrieved the likes of Senator Miles Sabe, who went on other political platforms to run elections. And so for us, we were open as a political party to receive whatever interests there are and to merge these interests and forge a common front to move forward. But shockingly, on the 24th day of November, without consulting the major stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State, an announcement was made on dissolving validly elected executives of the party, which, like I said before, is it was a clear attempt to oust the powers of the Constitution upon which the very party, the APC, is built on. This is a party that is built on progressivism, and we are shocked at that kind of decision, which is not a thought through decision. Now, you cannot hand over a party with all the sensitivities that comes with it to someone who is completely outside of the APC fold and have him nominate individuals who campaigned against our party in Rivers State to run the APC in Rivers State. We think that it is hypocritical, and it only sets the party on the edge for further crisis.
All right, I'll just ask you, Darlington, to hang on there while I come back to my guests in the studio. And I'll be talking to you, Abdullahi. Let's talk about what has been established here. Nyesom Wike, is he still a leader in the People's Democratic Party, considering that you would have heard from the River State APC member, they're saying that, look, he is not a member of our party, but we have this feeling that Abuja is supporting him, that's the APC National Secretary, is supporting him to actually take over the structures of the APC in River State. So how do you juxtapose this? I mean, as an experienced politician, can one person like Nyesom Wike belong to two political parties at the same time?
Nobody can possibly enjoy that privilege throughout the world. No democracy would honor that kind of, it's an aberration to start with. And for the record, he was never a leader of the PDP at the national level. He was a leader of the PDP at River State.
Yeah, but as a former governor of a state, isn't he, I mean,
to that extent, he enjoyed that privilege as at the time he was there. As the governor of River State, he was a leader of River State who had influence within the confines of River State PDP. When he came to contest for the presidency of Nigeria, it now moved to the national level and became an important national figure as a presidential aspirant, which he lost to Atiku Abubakar. And then from that moment, we have not had peace with Nyesom Wike. I have come here and spoken in several other fora that indeed some of the steps that we took could have been done differently. There were certain steps that we would have revisited, we would have done differently. And the people who did all of that are no longer with the PDP. We had an Ioche Ayu who masterminded some of the problems that PDP contended with, and that was what saw us to the election. And I regret to inform you, it cost us the victory of the party. It wasn't Nyesom Wike alone. There were misgivings in virtually all the 36 states of the Federation. No thanks to the inspiration by negative, energy by Ioche Ayu. But for Nyesom Wike to continue to make headlines in PDP and in APC, it's neither here nor there. The last time I checked, he is not a national leader, he is not a member of any known provisions of the PDP. He is neither here nor there. I know he is influencing decisions from the APC, and until this minute that I'm talking to you, he belonged to APC, perhaps.
Okay, well, there's no official notice. Now, as we continue this conversation while trying to round off, I want to ask you, like, what's the thinking behind the hierarchy of the party on the need to support Governor Sim Fubara? Because you've seen him going it alone in his fight with Nyesom Wike. We thought that the PDP National Secretariat would have provided some sort of armory or support. But, we never saw any political armory being made available to him by the National Secretariat. Are you prepared to welcome him to the National Secretariat of the party? And what sort of support would you be providing for him going forward?
I don't know any better support than providing an individual with a platform to contest election, which saw him become the governor today of, if not the second, the third most powerful state in Nigeria. Now, he never sought for any assistance from the headquarters since he became governor. And this minute, I'm telling you, if he is interested in seeing the acting national chairman and the entire NWC tonight, we're ready to see him. But he comes to the secretariat, we will welcome him. You only go to offer an individual support. Don't forget, this thing, a party is supposed to be bigger than even a president, not a governor, not only a governor. At the risk of sounding immodest, I don't want to see, what do you call him, Fubara, Governor Fubara, waiting to say that NWC will come to meet him. If he has any problem, the Wadata is open to him. He can come anytime and seek for this assistance. And he was able to fight all of this battle himself. We were in talking terms with him. He was always reaching out to the party since becoming the governor. He doesn't need to come to Wadata for any of the decisions or help that you think we will give him to manifest before your eyes. We always discuss with him. We are always receptive to him. We are hospitable, and he is also hospitable to us. Unless there's an official statement from him, which until this minute, I'm not aware, that he's no longer identifying with Wadata or the PDP. He still remains a bona fide member of the PDP,
yeah,
and PDP is identifying with him.
And even as the leader of the party in the state now. And I come to you, Darlington. Talk to us about Governor Sim Fubara's political future, considering what we had seen in Rivers State in the last 1 to 2 months, where even state institutions were being used to actually fight personal political battle. As an opposition party in Rivers State, what do you foresee as Sim Fubara's political future within the state?
Well, first of all, as a Rivers son, it is my wish that governance is not granted and the wheels of government runs freely without undue encumbrances. And so, for me as an individual, I would like to see him succeeding in at least his first 4 years in office, pending when the APC, a rebranded APC, will possibly kick him out of office by 2027. However, I wish that the distractions, the unnecessary, very needless distractions, which his predecessor never had. In fact, the gamut of support that he has gotten so far is beyond his political party. Because I think that his political party itself in Rivers State is polluted with persons whose loyalties lie with his predecessor, the FCT minister. And so he has had this support across party lines. And just for the sake of Rivers State, because this is a state that suffered tremendously under his predecessor in the past 8 years. A state where we had all sorts of draconian executive orders, a state where businesses were shut down, there was no ease of doing business, people were, the members of the opposition were hounded, arrested, some persons were even killed. You are aware, if you look through the statement I issued today on behalf of the APC, right, you will have seen that 4 persons were killed on election day alone. And so that was the kind of state that we had in the past 8 years. And so I would wish that he will move away completely from that kind of very negative, very bad imaging of Rivers State to a more prosperous state where people's ideals and ideas can prosper without let or hindrance.
All right. And just quickly before I let you go, is Rotimi Amechi still the political leader of the APC in Rivers State? And why has he been lying fallow?
Well, the other day he was a guest on one of your programs not too long ago, not quite 1 week ago, and he explained his challenges. He's had his hands full with academics, running 3 programs at the same time. So he's in fact, let me shock you with this funny story. Early this year, while people were exchanging New Year greetings, Somehow, I forgot to send greetings to him, and he called me and said, Darlington, I've not heard from you. I was surprised that he had the time to call because he's been very busy with his academics. But that said, everybody in Rivers State and even beyond Rivers State is aware that Rotimi Chibika Emechi is the leader of the APC in Rivers State, and it's difficult to displace him.
Well, we just hope that there will be no Royal Rumble in the Rivers State APC pretty soon when you have some of these defections continue.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, but we must thank you so much for joining us on the program. And just very quickly, Abdullahi, before I let both of you go, talk to us about what you think lies ahead of PDP in Rivers State, and then, of course, even at the national level, because one of your party members, Segun Showumi, actually took you to court just a few days ago, saying that the acting national chairman has refused to call a meeting of the National Executive Committee, the second highest decision-making organ of the party, since September 8, 2022. How do you react to that?
Well, first of all, the first leg of the question has to do with PDP. PDP is in safe hand in Rivers State, like it is under Ambassador Ilya Umar Damagun-led NWC. And secondly, the issue to do with Segun Showumi, it's something that we have received as a notice, and the legal team is looking into that. If he feels justified to take the party to court for that reason, then the party will also feel justified to meet him, through the legal team of the party, which we're already, addressing. There were issues that affected that decision, like some of them would know, which I earlier stated, had to do with the unity of the party. We came through a very keenly contested election, which we contested up until we got to the Supreme Court. And only recently, less than a month, or about a month, the victory of the APC was confirmed. So until then, we were not likely to see the need to call on NEC, for all of this thing. And it has been explained over and over. The unity of the party was paramount. Those who went to the election with misgivings were waiting for the NEC to be called on, and there and then, issues will emanate differently, and it might lead to, bitter. What the acting national chairman is doing is to tread carefully to ensure that those issues that led to our sad, loss of the election in 2023 were aggregated well enough and then presented at a better time when all of the litigations must have been dealt with, which is where we are now. And that is the effort that we are gearing towards ensuring that all the frayed nerves are called upon so that we will jointly address the problem with a view to ensuring that before long, PDP is giving back its pridal place, as the leader of the opposition and the winners of the next election in 2027, God willing, sparing our lives. All
right, Abdullahi Ibrahim, we must thank you so much. He's the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of Nigeria's major opposition, the People's Democratic Party. And you have a lot of work to do, because for the PDP to have lost national elections 3 times, there's so much to do ahead. And we must thank you so much, Darlington Nwauju, who has been joining us from Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. He's the immediate past Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress. I'm choosing my words now because you said you still remain in power, but we must thank you so much for joining us from Port Harcourt.